Hi everyone, it's Josie on a gorgeous Friday afternoon. Well, afternoon, it's 12:09 here. And I want to make a spaghetti sauce before I go to work. I'm working at 1, so I've got, 50 minutes to do this spaghetti sauce. And my pressure cooker is one of my favorites. I don't have a one favorite, they're all my favorite in Tupperware. So this works with 3 valves. You've got one here, one there, which is the one that lifts, and then you've got another one in here. So they work in the microwave. It's all made out of plastic. And in 30 minutes, I can actually have a spaghetti sauce. So if that's what we want to eat for dinner, it'll be ready. If, let's say, we have a iffy day on the weekend, I don't have to cook. It'll already be done. Or you can do it at the last minute, which I've done before. And I've got a 14-year-old son that's starting to use these things, and he loves these recipes. Now, this recipe is actually Mariano's recipe. I may have tweaked it a little bit. Sorry, Maria. But this is the easiest way I've ever seen to make a spaghetti sauce. Very meaty as well. So I start with my carrots and my celery and some onion, and they're not cut more than this. You actually have pretty large pieces, and all I do is start with, so this is fastest way I've ever seen to chop up vegetables. And as you can see, they're actually extremely well chopped, and they're pretty much all even. So I put in my vegetables. There we go. And I've got other vegetables I want to put in. I've got my garlic, I've got my peppers, and I've got more onion, of course. If I had more garlic, I'd probably put that in too. So you put your blades in the middle. You close your chef. And we already have everything chopped up for the microwave. There we go. I'm missing a spatula. And just to make sure that everything goes in. Now, this is going to be cooked in 3 steps. To make sure that everything gets cooked properly, you're bringing the temperature up to pressure cooking temperature. There we go. I just mix that up a little bit. There. Oh, it smells amazing. Fresh vegetables, right? And with that, we've got our Italian seasoning. So you can actually make your own. Sorry if you're not seeing me, but hopefully you can still hear me. You can actually make your own mix if you'd like. My mom and dad moved out and they're in a home now. So I actually got all sorts of stuff that mom was getting rid of. And this was one of them. I usually do make my own. You can use fresh if you like. However, for the pressure cooker, this is actually perfect. So 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. You mix that up slightly. Then you put the cover on, lock it in place, and it goes in the microwave for 10 minutes. While we're waiting for that to cook, let me just see here. So we've got 9 minutes to go, pretty much. Just wanted to show you what time it was so that you really know. It is currently 12:15. So I started this at 12:09, if you remember. And so all I've got ready now left to put into the recipe is, which is the next step, is my pound and a half of hamburger or ground chicken, ground turkey, whichever type of meat you want to put in the sauce. It's going to be a very meaty sauce. And then I also have my San Marzano tomatoes. whole tomatoes is the best that you can buy because they're not going to be reduced with water, such as chopped up, ground, diced, small or big. They actually do contain some water, whereas this is actually tomato juice. And the San Marzano ones are the best. Maria, you were right. So I'm very glad to actually confirm that this is the best. Now, with my great can opener from Tupperware, of course, this works like a charm. The way that the handle is made is also great for people that have mobility issues a little bit or strength problems in their hands. Once you've turned it all over, there's a little catch at the end here made out of metal. You just grab the side of your can and lift it up. Generally, I've actually had cans that this was the only thing that could take them off. I tried to take it off my hands and there was just no way. So I'll let you wait for the spaghetti sauce. I'm so sorry that smell-o-vision doesn't exist yet. And we'll be back with the next step, which will be the meat. Once the meat is put in and mixed in raw, we then put it another 10 minutes in the microwave. Once that's done, then we do the tomatoes. The tomatoes will be chopped up in my extra chef so that we get more of a sauce, tomato sauce that we'll put in. At every step, we put a tablespoon, of that Italian seasoning. So you get 3 full tablespoons of Italian seasoning by the time the recipe's done. Now, I apologize for my kitchen. Cupboards are bare. Well, bare. They're not covered because we're actually completing a reno in my kitchen. So everything was very dark wood, and now we're putting everything light. It's going to be great and summery. Not sure how I'll feel this winter, but I love it this summer. So we're still in the middle of all of that. So my apologies for that. So see you in 6 minutes to add the meat in, and I'll be right back. Been 10 minutes. My little yellow indicator indicates that there's a lot of steam in there. Now, we recommend that you wait, okay? Wait until the steam has gone down. You can open it safely. However, I know that there's not much liquid. The only thing I put in there was my vegetables and my seasoning. Not even salt. I'll salt at the end if there's really a need. Because there is usually salt in canned tomatoes. So what you can do if you're really, really in a hurry, you can just lift up the actual log. Now, if there was liquid in here, I don't recommend it because the liquid can actually splatter all over the place and really burn you bad, more than this can. So this is, there we go, the button's down. You always open away from you. And these are my cooked vegetables. So now with the cooked vegetables, I need to add my meat. There we go. Come on. There we are. So put the meat in, and then you're just going to mix it up so that you don't get a big clump of meat once it's cooked, right? So you mix it up with the vegetables, and then you put it back in for 10 minutes. It's always at 10 minutes, so it's not very complicated to remember. You put the vegetables you want in there. I didn't put any mushrooms because I find that it makes a lot of water. There's not much, everything, all the steam, all the vegetables, flavors, everything stays in this container, right? So once that's done, just a few more pieces to, so you can put meatballs if you prefer, right? That's always doable. I just prefer my Italian sauce, something that I can use for so many more things. So there we go. So this looks perfect. So see how all mixed in with the vegetables this is. And the only thing missing is my tablespoon of Italian seasoning. So there we go. Just do that. Make sure that the flavors meld together pretty well. And then I'll be back in another 10. There we go. So this is it. To put in the tomatoes. So in doing them this way, and then I lock it, you actually get everything cooked properly, the flavors melded in properly, and you've got the best sauce. So see you in 10. Here I am again, just to let you see what time it is. I'm not doctoring a thing. Probably backwards for you guys, but it is 12:30. So 12:30 and the meat is cooked. There's still some steam left in there. We're gonna wait a little bit until that actually, there we go, it just dropped down. I'm opening that. Always away from you. I keep repeating because it's very important. So I'll just show you that the meat is cooked, very well cooked, and there's a lot of humidity in here because nothing escapes except a little bit of steam. Now, what's left is, of course, my 3rd tablespoon of Italian seasonings, and then my San Marzano tomatoes. Now, please be careful when you're using these. The Extra Chef works like a charm. There's nothing better, but they are dangerous. Those blades are extremely sharp. Now, the tomatoes that I put in, I always put my finger on the top, simply because you don't want anything to fall into that hole that actually is responsible for how this thing works. So lock it in. It just takes a few pulls on the cord to actually get your tomatoes at a rough chop. You want something a little more liquidy, you can just keep on going. It's up to you. I like them a little choppy. Now, there is a secret that I do, and that's actually a little hand blender. I will put the hand blender through this once it's all ready so that you get actually something a little bit more homogeneous. It doesn't leave any huge lumps. I know that I've got people in my house that actually have a problem with some textures, and hot tomatoes, they don't eat pieces of hot tomato for whatever reason. So I'm just going to put the hand blender through that once I'm done. And so I don't need to chop up the tomatoes very much. There we go. There we are. And just mix that up a little bit. Now that the meat is cooked, I can actually have a little bit of a taste. It's not very tomatoey, people. It's actually, I think they call it Bolognese or ragu or something like that in Italy. So now, if you want something much thicker, go ahead and add a can of tomato paste. Just those little bitty cans. That's all you need. Because this is actually not very tomatoey. It's a very good sauce nonetheless. So here we go. Little taste. Yeah, salt is needed. So about a teaspoon of salt is probably all we're going to need. Man, that's good. Probably take a bowl of that with me when I go up to work. I work on the 2nd floor these days, right? Like I'm sure a lot of us are. There we go. You put it back in, another 10 minutes. It's currently 12:33, so I should be back at 12:43 to show you the end result. See you soon. Just to let you see, it is indeed 12:43. And this is hissing like it should. Not sure if you can hear it. Anyway, so that's hissing. Now, we will let that die down. The little yellow indicator needs to be all the way down before we open this. Simply because I wouldn't do it now, just opening it up, even if it's not all back down to normal. Simply because now we've got a higher level. There is a lot of liquid in there. So it would actually probably burn me, make a mess at the very worst, all right? So while that's usually doing that, this is when I make my spaghetti or pasta. This is amazing in order to make lasagna. You just stack them side by side on this thing, and you cook at about 11 to 12 minutes on high, actually. And then you've got the strainer that's already there. So once the spaghetti, etc., or whatever pasta you're making is done, you can simply put the cover back on because you cook it without the cover, and then you can just strain it, and everything's already in this one container. So a lot less dishes to do, even if the dishwasher is doing them. So now this is stop hissing, so I can actually open this. There we go. And we have an amazing spaghetti sauce. There we go. Very meaty, a lot of vegetables. You want to put more vegetables, you go ahead. And you have a great meaty sauce for lasagna, any type of noodles. It's your choice. A little bit of Parmesan on top. Now I'll wait till it cools down a little bit. I will put the hand blender in there simply for my family's preferences. So hopefully those of you that already have our pressure cooker can actually start making spaghetti sauce within 30 minutes. It's right now 12:45 and I'm ready to go to work. Dinner's ready once everybody gets home, since I won't be able to be there to make it at 5. Thank you for watching, and I sure hope that you let me know if you have any questions, any comments, any ideas about my kitchen. Please feel free. Have a great day.